You might have to unmute yourself if you have a question.
I have a question, Stuart.
Yes.
Would you speak about making a deeper commitment?
Uh, I speak about that all the time, Pat. Your commitment is based on how deeply you need. And if you really need to have a spiritual life, you will go the extra mile in order to attain, a connection with higher energy in the universe. Without that need, there's nowhere to go. And oh yeah, there's needs like I need to get a job, I need to, you know, have a relationship, I need, there's, needs on a horizontal level. Those can be, met in practicing this meditation. But once, those needs are fulfilled, if the need deep inside you is not to have a spiritual life, not to become one with God, then the growth usually stops. We find a million reasons to just enmesh ourselves in all of these horizontal things. Look, that's what a commitment is. You commit yourself to what you really need in life, or you think you need in life. And if you commit yourself to it, then you really make an effort to support it, to attend classes or whatever it is you're committed to. You're committed to doing it to the best of your possible ability. And that stems, as I started this thing, from need. And without that need, forget about it. I mean, we just flounder around from one thing to the next thing to the next thing and get lost. We get lost in illusion with some strange belief inside ourselves, thinking that illusion is what we're here to truly get lost in. Well, it's not easy to make commitments. I mean, when you make a commitment to something, you have to go the other mile. You have to make an effort to go beyond yourself in order to get from the situation what you are committed to get. I mean, people do this in politics, committed to being a Republican, a Democrat, or this or that. And, and they, incredibly so, go the extra mile in order to get somebody elected who they believe in. Now, it's easier to believe in those kind of things because they're tangible. Spiritual life is not tangible. We're dealing with an energy that comes from, an infinite source in the universe that's intangible. It creates things in life, but the energy itself is intangible. So usually when things are intangible, they're harder to commit with, too. So to have a spiritual life requires a remarkable leap of faith, a depth of commitment, that goes so far beyond anything you would commit yourself to on the earth. that it has to come from a place inside that truly needs to be fed by higher energy in the universe, by spirit, by God, by whatever you call it. That creates commitment. Certainly created a commitment inside me when I met Rudy. And there were many times where I thought, my God, what am I doing here? This is crazy, who needs all these people? And then I would look at my life and I would look at the possibility. I said, where else am I going to get teachings like this? And it would make me make the extra commitment. Go to Texas, go do this, do that. And I would do it. I did it because I needed to fulfill that connection with a teacher who really gave me my life out of gratitude. So all of these are like links on a chain. They all connect. Commitment, need, gratitude, desire for a spiritual life, oneness with God. They're all links on a chain that connect up when a person truly feels that need. And even the relationships we have with other people, marriages, love relationships, it all connects when the need is real to have a spiritual life, because then whatever you do in your life nourishes that need. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
Good question. I mean, I talk about it probably 80% of the time, this question. It's all connected. What you do on the earth, what you do in the period of your lifetime is so deeply connected to whether or not you need to have a spiritual life. Because whatever manifests nurtures that need and teaches you something about yourself and how you need to grow inside yourself. So there's no separation between higher energy and what manifests in life. When crummy things manifest, they're telling us about crummy things inside ourselves that we need to learn to fix. It's all God's messengers, teaching us about us. When the need is real to have a spiritual life, we recognize this. And then we're willing to do something about ourselves to change. Does anyone else have a question? Somebody else asked a question. Come on, there got to be another question.
I have a question, Stuart. Chris.
Yes, Chris.
Thank you. What you just said helps me so much. Stefan, my dear friend, is suffering enormous physical pain from carrying Chikor before, and he injured his back. And he is in terrible pain and having to take high meds and stuff. How can I help him? I love him and I'm doing my best to be available to him, but I really don't see that I'm contributing much to him.
You love him?
Yes.
How much more can you contribute?
Yeah, I see.
Now, let it show in your activity. Make them a meal, do this, do that, bring
Yeah,
flowers, get him to the point where he has to, no, got to do something about yourself,
yeah,
but don't lecture him,
yeah, you're right.
you know? But how much more can you be committed to a person if you truly unconditionally love them? And then every action from an unconditional place of giving from your heart.
Okay. Yeah, I've been cooking for him and massaging him and shopping, but it's hard to see him suffering, you know?
Look, Chris,
Thank you.
look, he knows what I teach, Chris.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say more about that. I don't want to impose me on. I love Stefan. He's a very wonderful man. I feel very deeply connected to him as a human being. But he was sent to you and to me for a reason.
Mhm.
And somewhere he has to wake up. I
Oh,
was sure that Yogananda would tell him, Stefan, stop it.
yeah. Yeah.
You have a possibility of getting past all this stuff. These people are committed to you in a deep way. Learn what they have to teach,
Oh, thank you so much, Stuart.
but don't lecture him, Chris.
I won't. I don't.
Just love him. Nice guy, wonderful guy. Love him. Easy to love.
Yeah, very. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? I would like. And it's not only Chris. We all have people in our lives that need love. I mean, look, I have a daughter. I have to go completely an extra mile to do, and it's working. You know, people need to feel they really are being cared for without lecturing them on the right way to live. Because who the hell knows the right way to live? But just loving them. And I see Jennifer making bread and muffins and pudding that I eat all the time. I mean, it's incredible. It's a way of her saying, I love you without having to lecture me on the right way to love. You know? Does anyone else have a question? They would like-
That was good, Stuart. A great answer.
I'm getting okay, Bob. I've grown up a bit in the last 40 years.
40 years plus.
40 years plus. I mean, I couldn't have given you these answers in Denton, Texas. That's why I had to leave. I had to learn about life. I had to really go out in the world and learn about life. I learned something. You shouldn't say I'm getting pretty. I'm getting okay. Okay. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, for those of you that attend the evening class, there won't be, excuse me, there won't be an evening class tomorrow. As been announcing, I have to have this eye procedure, but there will be a class Tuesday. This class where people come from all over the place. Okay, if there are no more questions, then thank you. God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Stuart.
Thank you.